Natlan Archon quest is finished, Mavuika story quest has been completed, Mavuika even received a 10-minute character animation short. She's got arguably the most media of any character, and the question that's been answered so many times before people even asked is Mavuika well written? And my answer is kinda, yesn't. She definitely had some writing to her, but I don't think it was good or bad. Basically, it was okay, and that's my main issue I have with her. Mavuika just doesn't have enough, and that's disappointing given her premise as an Archon, and in fact, being the center focus of Natlan's Archon quest, making people express disappointment over her character not having enough writing. So let's go over the writing on Mavuika so far and talk about what went well and what could have been improved. Natlan's Archon quest premise is unique because unlike the previous Archon quests, Natlan is in direct war with an opposing force, that being the Abyss, and the story is 100% focused on it. This puts us directly involved with the Archon from the start to fight the Abyss, so there is no kind of mystery around Mavuika's identity or goals because the plot is entirely region driven instead of character driven, which is different from the previous few Archon quests. This is not a bad thing because you can still incorporate character writing and development into the conflict of a region-based story. They literally did this in Acts 1 and 2 with Kachina and Mualani. So what happened with Mavuika? She's introduced to us as a respected, worthy, and strong leader. She provided a plan to rescue Kachina from the Night Kingdom and clearly demonstrated her title of being the strongest, fighting off the first Harbinger Capitano. 500 years ago, she put her soul into the sacred flame as a final plan to become resurrected when the 6 tribal heroes could unite to utilize the power of Renova to defeat the Abyss. This plan involved her leaving behind all of her family and friends, which goes to show how desperate and important saving Natlan meant to her. This is already great material to work with, especially considering that all of Natlan's Archons are humans, so it felt clear that the story could simply show just how desperate this plan is and Mavuika's own confidence in it. This also felt like the story was set up for this due to the various challenges presented to Mavuika. To rescue Kachina from the Night Kingdom, Mavuika had to sacrifice one of her precious mementos of the past, which seems like a big deal to her because it's the only thing she has left of her life 500 years ago. The first of the Fatui Harbingers, Capitano, also challenges her plan, both via a tense duel and by providing another plan with a higher chance of success. So again, all of these problems presented to Mavuika can be compelling by adding pressure to Mavuika's confidence and her plan. The writers could explore the experiences between being a human Archon and a god Archon as well, where they did so in Act 5 with the small party a few days before the final battle. This is where the issues really stood out to me. The writers didn't really follow up on any of this. Natlan's Archon quest climax goes through without Mavuika ever visibly addressing her inner struggles. This makes moments like her short reunion with Hina feel out of place, especially if you haven't seen the animated short. When Mavuika wants to secretly sacrifice her life again, it also feels out of left field because even though her death was foreshadowed, her attitude towards us coming to stop her was very solitary, contradicting her entire pride in fighting together in Natlan. Not to mention that the writers, unsurprisingly, just didn't commit to her death at all, instead giving that to Capitano's role, whose sudden motivations overshadowed Mavuika's writing. I even played through her story quest, and it was a whiplash because Mavuika was so nonchalant the entire time, even though Zablanque was coming back. The funniest moment to me was when Mavuika asked us to look around the stadium for clues, and when we turned up empty handed, she literally said, "Oh, I expected this would happen." Like, hello, can we just give her one flaw for us to work with? This isn't really bad writing to me. It just made Mavuika's character too plain, which was sad given her interesting role as a human Archon in having to leave behind her entire family and friends to gamble on a plan that may or may not have worked. The writing was just kind of there, and it left me a bit apathetic towards her character. I think what could be improved is that the writers should have utilized more time in the Archon quests to flesh out her character. For example, using the other characters like Kinich and Yansan, who didn't really do anything, to add some kind of questioning or problem for Mavuika to tackle, so that it helps both us and the characters really understand and agree with Mavuika's plan before blindly committing to it. Flesh out the characters' personalities by having them react to events, instead of simply recapping events. Part of me thinks that the writers took different directions with the Natlan story and couldn't commit to a North Star, while another part of me just wanted to rant and give my thoughts on why I don't feel attached to an Archon for the first time. I have read through more of Mavuka's character stories, and I guess I'm generally just disappointed that the writers didn't explore as many themes with her character, because the material is there. It's just a matter of fleshing things out. It might be looking like a Raiden Shogun Story Quest Act 2 type of situation. Or they might be saving everything for an eventual Conria flashback arc. I think Mavuika looks cool. Her Flamestrider motorcycle is sick. She definitely earns her title of being the strongest. I just wish her character writing was included in that. Anyways, that'll be it for the video. So thank you for watching and see you next time.